I would like to get to know if you could be the kind of girl that you could be down for.
Alright, so excuse my hair and the morning voice. It's really early, and I went to bed with my hair wet last night like an idiot, and this is where we are. I'm gonna do it later, but I wanted to come on camera this morning because I wanted to just like include y'all in this little moment, because I feel like this moment might be really like a moment. um so like maybe like a week or two or so, I kind of noticed that like I was just feeling different, like my body was feeling different. I did have like a scare where I had to go to the hospital because of like really bad chest pains, but now like I just feel like I might be pregnant. And now we're in January, and I have an app that tells me when my period is supposed to come, and it's like currently 6 days late. But yeah, I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm gonna take a pregnancy test today with y'all, because we need to figure out what's going on here. So this is a pregnancy test. It comes with two inside. One that comes up like this, one that comes up that just says pregnant. Rapid indigenal results 5 days sooner. So we're just gonna take this and see. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Just Kiesha if you're new. I post beauty and lifestyle content. If that's something that you're interested in, definitely stick around. Hit the red subscribe button, turn on your post notifications, all that good stuff. As you guys already saw in the previous clip, I did take a pregnancy test and both tests did come out positive. But as you guys probably already seen in the title, I did have a miscarriage, and that's basically what this video is going to be about. Just kind of like to put it out there, this video is not really like an attention seeking video or a sympathy seeking video. It's just a video that I felt like I just wanted to put out. Like, I'm very transparent as is with all of my supporters, like from my postpartum to my surgery to anything, like, and now this. There are really like a lot of women that go through miscarriages and infertility and stuff like that, and they really just deal with it alone. And I feel like with my experience, it kind of put me in a dark place, to point kind of similar to like my postpartum. Actually, it put me in a dark place to where I just felt like I needed to talk to someone. And I don't know, I just felt like no one could understand except me. And I know like there are other women that probably feel the exact same way, like no one's never gonna get it. So I just wanted to share my story. I wanted to just kind of explain my absence on social media for a while. So I'm gonna do my best to just do this entire video without crying, because I have a video after this to film. I purposely put on makeup, so we just gonna thug it out and not cry. So yeah, as you guys saw in the previous clip, I did find out I was expecting. When I found out that I was expecting, I was about 5.5 weeks along. And my husband and I, it came as a surprise, although I know that he wants more kids. Like, he wants 2 more kids, and we made a deal. I'm like, you could probably get 1 more out of me, and you got to make sure my body get right back to how it was before them kids, because I just made a major investment in my body, you know. So it was like, you know, we weren't trying per se, but at the same time we weren't against it. And I know for sure he wasn't against it, because he's like really big on more kids. So my last period, well, I kind of explained this, but my last period in December was kind of weird. Like, usually my period stays for about 4 days, but for some reason that one, it just came on real strong. Like, it was just like playing no game. It was just very heavy, and then at that 3rd day it just stopped. So I was just like, whatever, maybe it's because my body is doing whatever. January, I have an app that says like when my period is supposed to come, and it just never came. And I had kind of already felt like I was expecting, because, you know, as a woman, you can kind of just sense when your body is doing certain things. Like, I started feeling like the tenderness in my breast a lot, and I kind of mistook it for like maybe my period is coming, because that's something that happens to me when my period comes. But I noticed I started like eating a lot, I was tired a lot, and I kept telling my husband, like, you know, I feel like I'm pregnant, I think I'm pregnant. And he was just kind of like brushing it off. And then there was a night we were intimate, and he woke up the next morning like, I know you're pregnant. And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, because you feel like how you used to feel when you were pregnant. I'm like, how does a woman feel when they're pregnant? But that's neither here nor there. But it was just weird. And it was so crazy because like we had did a Target run before all of this happened, and I literally went, and I was like, I'm gonna try what's that pad company that everyone uses, the name of it, Honey Pot, that's what it was. I was like, I'm gonna try all their products, I'm gonna try their wash, their pad, because I've never used the Honey Pot brand before. So I racked up, y'all. I racked up on all that stuff, not knowing I wasn't gonna get a period. So and he went to the Target for something, and just like regular household items, and he came back and he had the pregnancy test in the bag. And I was just like, part of me didn't want to take it because it's like I already knew, but at the same time I was just like, I don't want to take it. So later that night I took one, and I was just like, I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna give it to him and I'm gonna go away. Before I could even like I took it and I passed it to him, before I could even like finish what I had to do in the bathroom, he was like, babe. I'm like, what happened? He was like, that positive popped up so fast. It literally just was like bloop, positive. So then we sat there and we were just looking at each other, and we was just like, I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, you're not excited? He like, yeah, but I'm shocked. And I'm like, what you shocked for? You wanted this. And he's like, but I didn't expect that. I'm like, so we're just like dealing with it, like just going through like the wow, we're pregnant, like what is really going on, like you know, with every pregnancy you have to have the talk, like you just start trying to figure everything out, like, okay, are we gonna turn our office into a nursery? Are we gonna like we were like, are we gonna have this talk now? Mind you, it was like 11 or 12. So yeah, so we were like, we're not gonna have to talk. He went to bed. He had work the next morning, and I was off the next day, but he went to bed. The next morning he went to work, and I was like, I'm just gonna take the other test. And that's when I took the digital test, and it was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and it popped up pregnant. So I was like, wow, like I'm really pregnant. Like I feel like at that point my nerves went from being nerves to excitement. I started thinking like, oh my God, like if I have another daughter, what can I name her? Am I gonna keep the J's? I started thinking like how would I decorate the nursery, baby shower themes. I just, everything that you think about when you're pregnant just was like going through my head. I started saving maternity shoot ideas. I started looking at the family, like big sister, little sister. I just was looking at all of that stuff. And I was happy. I was happy. Like it went from a shock to just being very happy. I had like a burst of energy that day. It was like cleaning up, and I had a burst of energy, and then that day, that's when like the symptoms kind of like kicked in, and I was just like, all right, let me take it easy. And I had just like laid down the rest of the day. Having kids for me was always just tough, like, you know. I'm not gonna say my 2 kids are not a blessing, but they came at work, honey. They came at work. So yeah, so maybe like, when did things turn? Maybe about the next day or the day after I finding out, I kind of like felt weird. I was just like, you know, my symptoms seem like they're going away, and I couldn't understand it. And I was like talking to my husband. I'm like, you know, it feels like I'm not feeling pregnant anymore. And he's like, what you mean? I'm like, I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like I'm not pregnant. Like with the kids, I've always been like really, really sick. Like, oh my God, like I was really, really sick, y'all. Like with Jalen, I was sick for the first 6 months, like no breaks. I couldn't keep nothing down. And with Juju, it wasn't as bad. Like I was sick, but it wasn't as bad. Like as long as I had something to snack on or like some water or something, I'll be all right. Or if I would like, I would feel more sick if I went too long without eating. But with Jalen, I could just eat. I could smell something. I could anything made me sick. Oh my God. So I was just kind of like shocked. I'm like, I'm not throwing up. Like I had that one day where I felt like, you know, really nauseous, but I just rest and it went away. And then I said my breasts don't feel like they're hurting anymore. So, you know, my husband's a guy and he's someone that's always like, let's look at the positives, like you're in your head. So I was just like, whatever. But I went to Google and I started like, you know, doing like, I'm gonna post my Google search, you guys, because when I tell y'all I was Googling everything, I was Googling everything under this golden sun of ours, like everything. And a lot of what I found about like losing symptoms in the beginning was that it's normal. They say in the beginning a lot of women, they tend to lose their symptoms, and some women don't even have symptoms. But for me, I just felt like no, like I've had multiple pregnancies, and with all those pregnancies I knew I was pregnant because I was sick. So this one, I was just like, I'm not convinced, but I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna just try to be easy about it and just not stress. So then the next day, I don't know, like I woke up and like my spirit was just off. Like I was just in my head about everything. I was just like, something just did not feel right. And my husband and I, we kind of got into our argument because I kept telling him, like, you know, something just, I don't know, like something just doesn't seem right. And it wasn't because I was feeling anything in my body or like, you know, I just felt like something just was off. And we kind of got into it because he kind of felt like I was being negative. And I was trying to explain to him, like, you know, I'm not being negative. I would never want to be negative. I just want to be careful. I just want things to go right this time. Like, I don't want nothing bad to happen. And something in me just don't feel right. And so we talked about it, and I was just like, okay, maybe I need to chill. Like, I need to chill. But I could not chill, y'all. So when I got home, he kind of picked up on that too. I was like, you know, maybe I should get another pregnancy test. And it was like 10 o'clock. I'm like, should we just go to Target and get a test? And he was like, we can, but not tonight. Like, you're gonna be fine. So, mind you, I'm still not like in no pain. I'm not feeling nothing. But I was just in my head. So I went upstairs and I laid down and I was just like Googling like signs of a miscarriage and what it like still like what does it mean when your pregnancy is not like when you're losing symptoms. I was just Googling everything and I could not sleep. I could not sleep. I got up and took a shower, and then I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try to just relax. And then I had started drinking like a bunch of water because I know with Juju I had short cervix, and one thing they said was I need to drink a gallon of water every day. So I was like, from the moment I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I'm gonna do everything that I needed to do from jump, like. And so I had to use the bathroom, and when I went to use the bathroom, I wiped and there was blood on the toilet paper. So I was like, I called my husband and he was like, but people bleed, women bleed. Like, he was just trying to be so positive. He was just like, but women bleed, like they say women bleed earlier in the pregnancy, and that is true. But I believe that my implantation bleeding, I experienced that because I saw when I saw when it happened, and I thought it was my period, but it went away. I didn't know it was implantation bleeding at the time, but when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, oh, that's what that was. So I know this time it wasn't that because I saw, like, you know, so I was just like, okay, like, but I was freaking out. I was just like really, really freaking out. So it's not a pain of mine. I tried to go to sleep that night, but as y'all could see, your girl was up just Googling everything. That night, like, it was weird because while I was Googling, I was like crying a lot. And I was trying to cry like one of those silent cries because I didn't want to wake him up. But I was just like crying a lot and I just could not fall asleep. So it was time to get up for work. And when I went to use the bathroom, everything just came out. Like everything. It was to the point where I could not even cry. Like, I could not even cry. Like, because, like, oh gosh. I don't know why I did this. I knew it was happening. Like, I knew, part of me just felt it. Like, part of me just felt like something was not right. Part of me felt like something was not, like, you can, a woman's intuition is never wrong, y'all. Like, never wrong. And as much as I try to stay positive, as much as I try to think like maybe I was in my head, maybe it just, like, something just was not right. It was just not, you know. So that day was a weird day. I didn't want to stay home from work because I felt like if I was alone, I would just be very sad. So I decided I was just gonna still go to work, and my husband was just like, I'll stay home with you. And I was just like, no, it doesn't make sense. Like, we have bills to pay. Just go, I'll go. And I remember the car ride to work, like, it was the most quietest car ride ever. Like, it was so quiet. I just remember just staring out the window and just tears, they just would not stop falling. They would not, like, ease up. Like, it was just so crazy. And my husband just kept asking if I was okay, but I felt just so numb inside. Like, I just felt like so, like, broken. Like, I felt like why did I was feeling like I was questioning my faith. I was just feeling like, why did he give it to us and just take it back? Like, what were we doing wrong? What was not right that he took it back? Just, like, you know, I was questioning it because I was drinking Starbucks all the time. Maybe the caffeine. I was like wondering if it was because I cleaned up the day before and I maybe was doing too much. I was just putting all the blame on me. Like, it did not matter what it was. Like, it was even a point where we had drove past, like, the day before all this happened, we had drove past like a bunch of crows, and I was just like in my head, like, I don't want to drive under there. I told my husband, I'm like, I hate seeing a bunch of crows. That always symbolizes death. So, like, the morning that it happened, I'm like, it was the fucking crows. Like, everything was a sign. Like, I was so in my head. Like, it was just so intense. It was so crazy. But yeah, so I went to work, and that day at work, it was kind of weird. So that's when I had told, like, my management team, just so that they were aware of, like, you know, I'm really going through some real life shit. Like, I couldn't even hide it. So when I told one of the members on my management team, they were just like, you know, why did you come in? And I was just like, I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be sad. So for that day, they were just like, you know, just take it easy. Like, if you need a moment, take a moment. Now, one of my first customers, it was actually a business customer, and I was getting some documents prepared for her without actually, like, meeting her on behalf of, like, my manager. I was trying to just take care of that for her. And she walks in to sign the documents and she's pregnant. And I'm just like, wow. My first customer of the day. And I was just like, this cannot be my life. And she was just so happy. And as I'm talking to her, she's looking me like directly in my eyes with concern. And I could tell she's looking at me with concern because, you know, I was crying. So like my eyes were puffy. Even though I had on a mask, it was just like you could sense, like you could feel like something was wrong. And she was just looking at me like, you know, like she knew something was wrong. And it was just so weird. And I did pretty good with her. I was really sad, but I did pretty good until it was time for her to say bye. She had another daughter in the car, and she brought the daughter, and she like knocked on the window, and the daughter was just like and her pregnant belly was just in the window. And that kind of like sent me, like I went to the back and I went to the bathroom, and I was just like, what is happening? Like I couldn't hold it together at that point because it was just like I felt like it wasn't fair. I'm not trying to cry. I don't want to do my makeup. Kiesha, you don't want to go through the struggle of setting this concealer again. You don't want to do that. But yeah, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. I noticed one thing with this miscarriage that I didn't notice with my other one or like any of my pregnancies was that like I was in a lot of pain. Like with my previous miscarriage, it literally felt like a period. Like I feel like if I didn't take a test, I would have never known I was pregnant. I would have just felt like I was having my period. But with this miscarriage, it was really, really, really bad. Like I had asked one of my colleagues to get me like a Tylenol, and it did not help. It was like really, really bad, and I started bleeding really heavy. So it was a lot like throughout the day. Like, you know, I didn't want to use the bathroom because I just felt like the blood and like all of that was just like a constant reminder that this was my situation. So I didn't want to use the bathroom. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything. So when it was time to go, like I left like right on the spot. Like I was just like, I'm out. We close at 4. Usually we leave like 4:30. I was out by like 4:03. I was just like, I told my husband like I'm ready, like, you know. And I feel like another thing with miscarriages and stuff too is a lot of women, you know, go through it, but I kind of had to see and take a step back at the fact that my husband was really going through it too. Like men aren't as expressive as women, and they don't have like guy friends often that they could just like go to and just vent to and talk to like women can. And so they literally just have to like deal with it themselves. And I found that out when I realized like he was just like really snappy. And I saw that and I realized like, you know, men, they have their own way of dealing with things, but they don't have like friends or like, you know, things that women have where we could just go vent and just like, you know, just let a load off. So I realized that after the fact that him being so snappy and just angry was his way of kind of dealing with it. Like he's not gonna cry. Like he probably wanted to, I'm sure he did, but he's not gonna do that. He's gonna try to stay strong for me. But it was just trying to like, it was coming out in a negative, like aggressive way for him, whereas for me it was more of like an emotional, sad, angry way. But yeah, so that day I left work. We went home. I went straight to bed. I got in the bed, I laid down. I ended up falling asleep, and I think I woke up because the kids came home from school, and my sister had called me. And it's so weird because my sister, like, she always calls me like when I'm going through it. It's like we kind of have like this thing, like, I don't know, it's like every time we call one another like, hey, just checking on you. we're literally going through something. So she called me and she was just like, she was checking on me, and part of me wanted to like tell her, but then another part of me was just like, I don't want to go through explaining myself and explaining what's going on and explaining this because I'm sad and I just wanted to go away. So I just like thugged out the conversation, although like I just wanted to cry, like I just thugged it out. But yeah, so I ended up just going downstairs for a while and just chilling with my husband. It was like 11 o'clock and I'm like, we didn't eat, and he was like, are you hungry? I'm like, I'm starving because I didn't eat at work. And he was just like, well, I'll just get something quick. I'll just get us some Wendy's or something. And he was like, I'll just go get it because Uber Eats is going to take long. And I felt like something in me was just like a big kid, like, can I come with you? Like, you know, I didn't want to be alone. I was so scared to be alone. Like, I did not want to be alone. I just wanted to be in the comfort of someone. Like, I felt like if I was alone, I would just feel sad, like, you know, and I just did not want to feel that way. I just wanted to feel like someone was there, you know. And so the next morning we woke up and you would have thought we had an argument the night before. It was just like, it was really taking a toll on us, you know. Like, he wanted to he had to take Jalen to school, and I had asked him like, can I come with you? And he was just like, no, it's fine. And I was just like, I don't want to be home alone. Like, I don't want to be by myself. But I understood, like, you know, maybe he wanted his space. So it was tough. I had to do things to like distract myself, like clean, and it was tough, y'all. Like, I felt like I couldn't separate my emotions. And I don't want to say that I'm over the situation, because even now, like, you know, I'm still going through it. I'm still very sad about it. It's not something that I feel like I'm gonna just wake up and feel better from. Although I can say within the last 2 days, I have felt okay. I kind of like voiced it on social media, on Instagram, in a way that was really unexpected. I was making a reel because I wanted to like start back working out. I probably shouldn't have started working out this soon, but I've been doing things to just distract me from my reality, which is not really good, but it's been helping me. So I started working out and I was gonna make a workout reel, and somehow I came across a song, "Ooh child, things are gonna get easier," that song. And I felt like I needed to hear the words, so I put the words to the reel, and I was just like, it goes. And then what I was gonna write initially was, I'm doing 2 reps of this and 2 sets of that. And when I went to writing, the first thing I wrote was, on January 8th, I found out I was expecting. And then I just continued it. And that kind of is what prompted me to kind of like make this video too, because I got so many different responses from so many different women. And I had a couple friends that actually text me separately like, wow, I literally just went through this, or like, wow, I'm literally going through this right now. And I was just like, wow, I'm your friend, why didn't you say anything? And it kind of made me realize, like, Kiesha, you didn't say anything either. So I just feel like it's not something easy. It does affect your mental a lot, but always just remember that it's not something that you have to go through alone. As much as you may feel like you don't want to deal with it, as much as you may feel like it's just something that, you know, is just not fair, and you know, you blame yourself and you question yourself, it's never really you. I'm a spiritual person, and I just feel like it's always gonna be God's plan, not mine. It's always God's timing, not mine. And realistically, my life could be a little better before bringing another kid into the world. I feel like I have a lot of goals. I feel like I set a lot of goals for myself. You know, and I feel like when God feels like I am at a place where those goals can be achieved while having another baby and flourishing in the lifestyle that, you know, my husband and I are trying to create for ourselves and our kids, he'll bless us with that baby. But yeah, So that is my little story time on finding out I was pregnant and finding out that I lost it. I don't know, my heart goes out to anyone that deals with this, because it is really not something easy to deal with. It's not something easy to deal with, like, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that I kind of shed some light on like my absence on social media and, you know, things of that sort. And I hope that if you're watching this and you recently like went through something similar, you just hold your head, because it will pass. It's gonna be tough, it's gonna be an emotional roller coaster, but everything happens for a reason, and there's always a bigger blessing at the end of any struggle that you overcome. You just gotta really battle and overcome the struggle that you're facing. It's with life in general. Anything that you might be facing or dealing with or struggling with is for a reason, and there's always going to be a bigger outcome at the end. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and leave some positive comments only in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next video really soon. Bye, you guys.